Deep breath.
You do run out of breath.
So from Monday, March 17th, 2025, I would ask that you all please rise for a brief invocation to be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Tonight, as the City Council meets on St. Patrick's Day, we are ever mindful of the very strong and positive history which the Irish community has provided to Batavia. Some 157 years ago, when the Great Chicago Fire occurred, there was a dramatic demand to rebuild the city in non-combustible materials, much of which were found in 3 different deposits of stone quarries in the suburbs, one in Lamont, one in Naperville, and one in Batavia. And it was because of this demand to mine up what today is the quarry pool, among other things, we had a huge influx of Scandinavians move into Batavia. And as we know today, many of them are not families of those folks are still here 5, 6 generations later. So we are ever appreciative and mindful and thankful for the strong heritage of the Irish community that exists in our town. As always tonight, we want to express a special memory and appreciation for those from our community who are serving on foreign soil in the defense of the liberties of the United States of America. And we just ask that each one of these men and women be given special blessings as they go about their vital missions. Also tonight, we want to remember all those in our community who are sick or infirmed, and we just ask that a special blessing be showered upon them. And finally, we ask for understanding and direction and great ideas from the members of the City Council as we go about our meeting tonight, knowing that each and every one of them is here to do what they feel in their own hearts and minds are in the very best interests of Batavia. And for that sentiment, we are ever very appreciative. We ask for all these blessings. Amen. Who would like to do the Pledge of Allegiance? I have a volunteer. Sure. Alderman Millay, you're becoming a regular.
Yeah. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ask the city clerk to please call the roll.
Barraza. Lancey.
Here.
Beck. Here. Pieper.
Here.
Malone.
Here.
Wolf.
Here.
Solfa.
Here.
Barron. Lehman. Here. Ayazi. Millay.
Here.
Ewer.
Here.
Saron.
Here.
Vogelsinger. Here. 12 present, 2 absent.
So we have the necessary quorum to conduct business. All right, moving to item 4, which is a reminder for the audience. If anybody is going to address the council tonight, we ask that you please come up and use the podium at the front here and share your name, and also please be ever mindful that you use a microphone, because this is all being broadcast and televised and recorded on BATV. And if you don't talk into the microphone, many of the people at home can't hear a word you're saying. So we ask that you do that. Moving to item number 5, items to be removed, added, or changed on tonight's agenda. Do we have anything tonight? Okay. Moving then to item number 6, and Alderman Beck, you have that, and would you present it, please?
Yes, Your Honor. The consent agenda reads as follows. Accept and place on file the Committee of the Whole minutes for February 25th, 2025, the Historic Preservation Commission minutes for February 10th, 2025, and the building reports for February 2025. And for approval, the 2025 payroll in the amount of $1,083,272.02, the accounts payable check register in the amount of $4,080,695.54, the City Council minutes for March 3rd, 2025, the 2024 budget amendment and reconciliation, the COW executive session minutes from February 11, 2025 on personnel and the purchase of real estate, a Class G liquor license for Book Fair and Brews event to be held at Hearth and Hammer, 160 First Street on March 23, 2025, Sturdy Shelter Brewing applicant. Resolution 2025-35-R, approving a contract with Electric Conduit Construction Company to install electric conduits under the railroad track at Redant Road, BNSF Crossing, for an amount not to exceed $355,025. Resolution 2025-44-R, authorizing the execution of task order number 16 with Allen Peppa Architects for professional engineering for architectural services for Fire Station number 2 mechanical upgrades. Resolution 2025-40-R, authorizing execution of task order number 52 with Engineering Enterprises Incorporated for construction engineering services of the Year 3 lead service line replacement project. Resolution 2024-41-R, authorizing execution of the notice of intent to award the Year 3 lead and galvanized steel water line service replacement project to Miller Pipeline, LLC. Resolution 2025-42-R, resolution approving the 2025 zoning map. Resolution 2025-45-R, authorizing payment for finance software maintenance. Resolution 2025-43-R, authorizing execution of a one-year contract with Klaus Brothers, Inc. for the 2025 code enforcement abatement for lawn mowing. Resolution 2025-37-R, designating authority as banking agents. Ordinance 2025-16, amendment to the official zoning map for multiple properties at 505, 615, 621, 705, 723, 741, 749, 757, and 801 Pine Street, and 937 South Verdant Road. Ordinance 2025-17, approving a plat of vacation for a portion of Maple Lane. And Resolution 2025-36-R, preliminary and final plat of subdivision approval for Hemming subdivision, 403 North Avenue and 420 Maple Lane, Travis Hemming, applicant. Your Honor, I move we approve the consent agenda as read.
Motion Alderman Beck, second by Alderman Lehman for the approval of the consent agenda as read. Any discussion? Council? Clerk, call the roll.
Beck?
Aye.
Pieper?
Aye.
Malone?
Aye.
Wolf?
Aye.
Solfa?
Aye.
Barron? Lehman? Malay?
Aye.
Ewer?
Aye.
Saron?
Aye.
Vogelsinger?
Aye.
Lancy?
Aye.
12 yes, no, 2 absent.
Motion approved. That's what a committee meeting's all about, when we can go through this at the regular agenda and spend probably several hours the other night on all this stuff. So appreciate good efforts of those of you all who all come. Okay, moving to item 7, matters from the public for items not on the agenda. Do we have anybody this evening that wishes to address us? Guess not. All right. Item number 8, I am delighted to make the appointment of Andrea Pizzara to the position of Director of Public Works for the City of Batavia. Andrea and I go way back. I was here before she was, so I beat her, but she really has, I think, over time, certainly shown myself and the members of the City Council a lot of creative energies as far as overcoming some neighborhood squabbles and issues that really needed some serious engineering. There was a time when the city went through a real bad stormwater problem, and she rose to the occasion and helped us clean up and get a lot of that totally out of the way. And now there's a lot of looming things that are out there that I'm glad we're going to have her leadership as the Director of Public Works. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, this is all being created by the retirement of Gary Holm, who is sitting over here in the corner. He's got his nameplate down so people can't identify him. But he's done a very nice job for us, and I can't say enough thanks to him for all the good efforts he's put forward to really do a lot of stuff. When you get into that side of this business, there's all kinds of neighbors that don't like their next door neighbor, or they don't like the pothole down at the end of the block, or they don't like where the street light got put, or they don't like the sidewalk that you want to build, or there's just a lot of things. So you have to have a troubleshooter's personality to take this job, and I'm glad that Andrea has shown us that she's quite qualified to do that. So I would make that appointment and ask for the council's vote of confirmation.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Alderman Solva, second by Alderman Wolf. Any discussion with the council? Clerk, call the roll.
Solfa?
Aye.
Barron? Lehman? Malay?
Aye.
Ewer?
Aye.
Saron?
Aye.
Vogelsinger? Lancy?
Aye.
Beck? Pieper.
Aye.
Malone.
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye.
12 yes, no, 2 absent.
Motion is approved. Would you like to make
Thank you very much, City Council, for your approval of Andrea as our next Director of Public Works. It's with a tremendous amount of confidence that we're recommending her for this role. And Andrea, I think she'd like to come up and say a few words tonight. And Andrea's daughters are here in the audience as well.
Good evening. I'm not used to coming up here just to say my thanks. I'm usually presenting a project, but I guess this is a big project, and I'm looking forward to taking on this role. And I, first of all, have to thank Gary for his great leadership and the role model that he provided us. He has literally and figuratively, I have big shoes to fill. And I'm up for the challenge. I always take a look at things, and I know that, you have one opportunity to do a lot of things, but you can always go at your own pace to try and get that done. And I'm ready to tackle the lists that we have, and I'm super excited to work with all our talented staff that we have. There's a great deal of knowledge and talent within the Public Works Department. Our superintendents, they all are very knowledgeable in what they do, and that's what makes us a great team. I'm just, again, super excited to start this and very honored that I was selected and grateful for what the future brings. I've been here for 16 years, and I plan on being around hopefully another 16 or more. So with that, I know we have a lot of projects going on, and can't wait to present those to you guys and have some creative ideas to get those presented to the public as well, so they can see what Public Works is all about. So again, thank you very much. And also a big thank you to my biggest cheerleaders. So thank you, guys.
All right, moving to item number 9, which is a presentation by the Batavia Environmental Commission. I know we have our representatives here to talk with us.
That's all I need to do, Laura? Just present? Okay. Okay, cool. All right. Well, hello, everyone. It's really nice to be here tonight. My name is Alex Zellis. I am chair of the Environmental Commission. I also have Anna here, and she's our high school ambassadors, kind of the term we've come up with. So tonight we're just going to talk a little bit about what we've been up to since we were last here, which sometime end of last year. Time goes by really quickly. So I guess Anna wanted to say a few things, but do you want to take over?
Yeah, hi, I'm Anna. I was the student liaison starting about this time of year last year. And the most recent thing that I helped the BDC with was helping to organize a river cleanup past Lippold Park and in doing so, organized high school members and the Forest Preserve members to cut down invasive honeysuckle in the area.
Thanks, Anna. And then also I wanted to say a very heartfelt thank you to Anna. She's graduating this year, but she's as our inaugural ambassador. It's been great having her come to our meetings and show an interest in what the BEC is doing, but also taking what we're doing back to the high school and reaching out to students there. So hopefully we'll have another 1 or 2 members joining us after Anna's departure, but she's already trying to bring people in, and we had a few interested students attend our meeting last week. So yeah, we just want to continue reaching out to the high school, and hopefully we'll soon get over before the end of the school year to meet with the Eco Club and potentially the AP Environmental Science class. Just talk to them, not just about what we do as the commission, but also several of us work in the environmental field. So just trying to spearhead future environmental and sustainable leaders. And to that point as well, Anna, do you want to share where?
I'm currently in between University of Maine and University of Illinois, both for like an environmental studies, sustainability major, which I think the BEC really kind of fostered that within me, especially getting to experience the environmental policy side of the environmental movement.
Okay. Thanks. I don't know, I guess before we move into like what we've been working on, did anyone have any questions for Anna or any additional thoughts that you want to share just about our outreach to the high school? We're open to thoughts and suggestions as we continue doing this.
Anybody have any questions or comments?
Is there any thought of putting something together at the high school, like for some of the management and some of the things that they have on campus there? For any of that, to have the kids involved in that?
So are you talking about like natural areas on campus? Yeah, so I know that Anna Baker years ago had helped with one of the naturalized basins there, and there was some active work on that. I don't know if there's any management of that right now, and we've kind of talked about it, but hopefully, I think we've talked about trying to get stuff going again at the high school like that. We just need some people at the high school to take charge. I think it was a teacher last time, and they've kind of stepped away from that.
Yeah, just like guidance on how to do that, and then organization with Eco Club to help do that together.
Alex, I was on the staff, one of the staff liaisons back when Anna was there doing that, and I can't recall off the top of my head, but the school district, I think, is aware of that area needing to be maintained. But in the past, there have been different members on the environmental commission, like Meg Humphreys was a long time ago. She was a teacher at the high school, and I came in and taught a class and just talked about engineering there. So I know there's opportunities, and a bunch of us on staff have gone there for their career fair when the high school had it, to at least make the students aware of the different careers. So it's definitely something staff is willing to go and do if there's a teacher that's interested in having us step up and go spend a couple hours over there.
I think that would be a great way to get a pipeline of kids that are involved earlier on in high school, so we're not just getting somebody for 1 year before they leave to go somewhere.
Yep, and that's really one of our goals, and Anna was kind of our guinea pig, if you will, but ideally we would have someone kind of starting at like a sophomore level and then working into like junior and senior, so there's always kind of that more upperclassman person paired with a lowerclassman, and they can kind of work together and graduate out. But yeah, I think I have kind of a point later on, but we're trying to work on really getting like subcommittees going again, and one of those focuses would be education and outreach, and so that would probably be one of those points that fall under it. So we're planning, and it's got to come to fruition, but yeah.
Anybody else? One thing I'd like to comment on is the Kane County Forest Reserve has embarked on quite a land acquisition program around Batavia. And out at the intersection near Nelson's Lake Road and Main Street, they have now assembled, I think they've bought 7 farms so far, and they have assembled about 1,640 some acres out there that's all just kind of laying there, and some of it's still being farmed, and there's a vast little lake out there, and there's some sand deposits. There's a whole bunch of stuff. And I've asked several times with them, and they're very open about they're still kind of trying to create what they want to do out there with a lot of it. And I've indicated to them that I think it would be a good idea to some night have some of their staff come in and meet with you folks. And I don't think they've ever been here that I'm aware of. But
I'm not sure if they've been here formally. Barb McKittrick, who's one of our commissioners, does work for the Forest Preserve District. So we do actually now kind of officially have that connection. And I know she's trying to get more outreach within the city to let everybody in Batavia know that these forest preserves exist and how we can interact with those forest preserves and help support the district.
Yeah, I mean, that area's got a lot of interest in it from a lot of various groups, and most of them have some environmental background. One case in point, I was recently invited down to Aurora University to have lunch with the new president, and she was quite inquisitive about what was going on, and I said, well, right now it's the Kane County Forest Preserve, but we need to bring some other folks into it because I think the idea there is they may have the opportunity for some very interesting walking paths and with various things growing around it. They could have a couple of areas for paths or fields for play on them. They could have a whole bunch of different opportunities there. And I even had one group call and wanted to know how far it was away from the full interchange at 88 because they thought maybe they'd try to put some ideas out about what you could build there if you were near 88. But quite honestly, I think we're going to be better served having that whole area preserved in the Forest Preserve plan that they got. And I'm glad that you guys are aware of it, and we'll try to bring together some conversations with the Forest Preserve because I think we could help each other in that whole idea going forward. Anybody else? Well, thank you for coming down.
Yeah, well, we do have some more stuff that we wanted to share.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
But, yeah, go ahead, Sarah, and Leah.
I was just going to ask if you had additional things to share. Yeah. And I was going to say thank you to your student ambassador for taking this on and being the guinea pig and working so hard for this. You're making an impact for your life and then for the future of this organization, wherever this position goes in the future. So thank you.
So yeah, a recap of some things that we've been working on over the last several months. Most recently, you're probably all aware, we've provided some recommendations regarding the single-use bag education RFP and the energy audit and home energy improvement rebate program. It's always, we always appreciate being able to review things like this and offer our thoughts and recommendations to council, and we definitely appreciate your consideration of our thoughts. And just a reminder that we are always here and happy and willing to provide some guidance, which is partly why we are here. Education is another one of our missions. So we've continued to post on our social media, on Facebook, as well as Instagram, regarding recycling, sustainability, natural ecology, different events and volunteer opportunities that are happening in the area. We, again, as this next year, we're going to try to formalize a little bit more of a calendar for outreach so that we're posting more frequently and hopefully garnering, I don't, the algorithms, trying to get some more notoriety and views. And then we've continued working with the library on programming on Wednesday. If anybody is free and looking for something to do, or if you want to share, that Barb is going to be presenting a presentation about the Batavia Forest Preserves and how people can get involved with those. So that's this Wednesday at 7 at the library. Also Wednesday night, we were asked by the Suburban Climate Action Group to talk to them about how Batavia passed the single-use bag fee. So there is interest among a lot of other communities in the area, and they are looking at Batavia and what we've done. And there's a lot of kind of like grassroots movement to try and push this in other communities. So I think it's been great that we've been a leader on this. And again, we definitely appreciate council's support of the bag fee. I think hopefully everybody agrees that despite some of the initial challenges with getting the bag fee rolling, the fees that we've collected are doing some good things in the community to counter some of the environmental impact associated with single-use bags. So hopefully we can kind of share what we've learned and get some other communities to start discussing this, and hopefully also planning an ordinance as well. Late last year when the Fox mural was unleashed, we were part of their celebration, so we had our table out there. It was really nice to interact with the community. We love the mural, of course, and then I'll talk about something else that we're hopefully going to be proposing here soon, centered on that mural. Last weekend was Battle of the Brush Piles, so we advertised that. I believe Geneva High School won that competition, so hopefully next year Batavia can give them a good running. And Batavia Big Tree program continues. We've had 15 total submissions. We are working on finalizing some measurements on a handful of trees. So we'll have some big tree, official big tree announcements this spring. And then along with our program, we had a high school student through Anna reach out to us and ask if she could develop a promotional video for the program. So we are working with her to make a video that can be shared on the city's communications, the BEC, social media, just to educate about the Big Tree program and make it a little bit more interactive and hopefully exciting for people to participate. Coming up, we are sponsoring the Batavia Spur Bike Path Cleanup on May 3rd. That you can see, I think Emma Cole is spearheading that. So if everybody's available, please come out and spread the word that this event is happening. I believe we are meeting at Rotolo Middle School. I don't think there's any type of pre-registration, so literally you can show up and make sure you've got some good clothes on and bring some gloves and grab it if you have it.
What's the idea with the big tree? Are you going to put a plaque or a sign by them or anything?
Yes, so the idea is that we will have, similar to the conservation foundations, if you've seen like their conservation at home plaques that people can just kind of post, that would be similar. So there will be just a little sign that says this is an official Batavia Big Tree. We're still working out exactly what that will formally look like. But we give in to the owner of that tree, and they can choose to post it if they'd like, or they don't have to post it. But yeah, it's just kind of an honor and recognition for that tree.
I asked that question because about a decade back, we had a situation going over at McDonald's restaurant almost every afternoon at 2 o'clock. Two guys who knew each other very well and were very good friends would go over there and get in these phenomenal arguments about where was the tallest tree in Batavia. And one of them was Frank Sopp, who was the city arborist for a long time. And the other one was Harold Holbrook, who was the janitor, custodian at the Batavia Middle School for years and years. And they were kind of, I think, classmates going way back into Batavia and whatever. And they would have the biggest arguments about where the tallest tree was. And sometime, if you like, I'll tell you what the arguments were, because they invited me over there several times to hear the argument out, and I didn't know what to tell them. And at the end of the day, I think that there was an agreement that maybe a tree at 214 South Prairie Street, it's still there in the front yard, may to this day be the tallest tree in height in Batavia.
That's good information. I will have to remember that and check it out for sure. I'm trying to recall, I don't think that address has come up in the nominations yet. So, Mr. Mayor, if you would like to nominate that. Yeah, I will file that away. Thank you. So moving ahead, we are working on completing our 2025 strategic planning, and Max has been super helpful in working with us on that and kind of getting us going in the right direction. So within the next month, we should hopefully have something finalized, goals for us to work towards the next few years. I already mentioned looking to bring on a couple new high school ambassadors and working with high school students more closely. We, as part of forming several subcommittees, one of those being education, again, we'll be fleshing out, and also as part of our strategic planning, but fleshing out areas that we want to focus on in education. I know that right now we have a lot of interest in natural landscaping within the city. So that's going to be a focus moving forward, as well as some other things that we're kind of toying with. And then ecology, and I mentioned with Barb now being on the commission, she has an interest in doing more partnership with Kane County Forest Preserve District. And the proposal that is going to be coming your way. So this is not, it's kind of a teaser, if you will. So we don't need to get into too much of a discussion about it, but Nikki is looking to propose a wildflower garden along the Art of the Fox mural. So if you will, we have a couple example photos. The one on the left is from the Kane County Government Building, and the one on the right is the park in Geneva, just north of their dam on the west side of the river. I can't remember the name of the park. But we think it would be a really nice complement to the mural to have some really nice native gardens that showcase native plants that grow in our area. Just again, like beautifying that spot even more. And I think it would be a really nice feature during events that happen at this location throughout the year, such as cocktails in the park. So yeah, that will be upcoming your way for some thoughts and hopefully support. I know Nikki, I believe, has kind of, I think, reached out to Gary and some of the city staff to initiate some conversations about that. So that's something we're very excited about. And that's kind of all we have. Our information is up there for people. Just keep letting everyone know we exist. And yeah, thank you. If there's any questions, comments?
Anybody from the council have any questions? On behalf of the council, I just want to say you are doing an excellent job, and we've kind of hit the nail here as far as understanding what environmental things are going to be significant to Batavia, not only in its past, but certainly in its future. And thanks to your organization, we seem to be focusing in on those and doing some stuff that I think will be very fruitful for Batavia to have in the future generations. So I thank all of you on the committee, and would hope that maybe some other folks would step forward and want to join in on this good effort of Batavia and an all-volunteer movement to do some stuff that really makes Batavia kind of stand out. Thank you.
All right. I will close this. Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is the Executive Director of Batavia Main Street. And she is here to tell us and give us an update on what her organization is doing. And let me just say, I have another, I'm very proud of Batavia Main Street and the good job they have been doing. And they recently, how many months back did you host the state convention?
Well, we did that in November.
No, when?
In November. So it's been, what, 4 months?
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 or 4 months.
They invited me to come and talk a little about the history of Batavia downtown before they started. And after it was over with, you divided yourselves into like 10 groups or something, and they all walked on all the places in downtown Batavia. And I was out walking around, and I got inquired with for a whole bunch of new other stuff we hadn't talked about. But I had many of them say, this is one of the most historic and underrated downtowns in this state. And boy, is this place getting it, I think they use the word getting its act together. And I give a lot of the credit for that statement to you for what you've done so far. So I'll turn it over to you.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate your kind words. I'm actually going to talk today about some of the new grant funded initiatives. We were lucky enough to get a $5,000 grant from the Illinois Main Street. And with that, one of the new initiatives we are doing is launching a hype team. And basically, this is just a group of enthusiastic downtown supporters who just want to share information about downtown. It's kind of a easy way for people who really love Batavia to volunteer. So what they become part of the hype team. We have a special branding specifically for that. That was done for us by Sense 75, who was at the boardwalk shops last year. But they have like a list of things that we'll require of them to do throughout the season, which would include go to 2 farmers markets a season where they will be kind of ambassadors. They'll wear their hype team gear and they'll point people around to all the things that they can do in Batavia besides the farmers market. We require that they volunteer at a Main Street event once a year. They have to subscribe to our newsletter so they can know all the things that are happening in downtown. They follow our social media accounts. We have 4 different that we run, the Downtown Batavia, the Boardwalk Shops, the Farmers Market, and Artisan Collective. And then we ask that when they're out and about in downtown, they might take a picture and post, where they are, the things that they love. And it's just guerrilla marketing to spread the word about Batavia in a more informal way. So that started. So you'll see, if you follow our Instagram, you'll see in our stories what'll say like share the hype, and those people are part of our hype team. Another one of our new initiatives was to hire a paid influencer. I'll play this video again. This was our first one. This is Corey in the City. She did a collaborative post for us where she came down and visited 5 different businesses in Batavia. And from that collaborative post, there have been over 184,000 views, over 2,900 likes, over 780 shares, and over 70 comments. And from that collaborative post, we got over 200 new followers on our social media, which I don't know if you guys remember, but our account was hacked last year and we lost all of our followers. So we've been slowly rebuilding it, but we have a nice following right now. And then the next thing we're doing is we're having a downtown scavenger hunt. This is kind of our kickoff to the hype team. Basically, we got 100 of these foam fingers that you'll see. It has Batavia and Share the Hype, support local. That promotion is running from March 8th through April 6th. We have 75 of the foam fingers actually hidden around. There's 2 ways that people can play. Either you can download the scavenger hunt card and mark the locations of 10 different foam fingers in the downtown district and return them to Main Street. You can find that on our link tree, on our social media, or in our newsletter, or snap and share, which is take a picture with yourself with the foam finger, tag downtown Batavia, and you're automatically entered to win. So from that promotion, we're giving away $800. Those winners, 3 prizes of $100 in downtown dollars. So those are dollars to be spent exclusively in the downtown district. 5 $50 prizes, and then 10 $25 prizes. And then finally, we have announced the 2025 Boardwalk Shops. We have 2 returning vendors this year, Scout and Gem, which is jewelry, and Jody Mac Sweet Treats, which is the freeze-dried and chocolate-covered candies. And then we have 8 new businesses returning, A Rooted Home, which is thoughtfully curated home goods designed to create space that feels grounded, both grounded and inspired. I can never pronounce the name of the one. It's Aha Kapa, I think traditional bakery, but what she is, she does international baked goods. So she's been bringing in a lot of treats for us to sample, which, you know, we appreciate and my pants do not. We have Jerome Guatemalan Apparel and Home Fusion. It's a fusion of Chicago-made apparel and Guatemalan-inspired home decor. Jacqueline Sue's Boutique is a trendy women's boutique offering carefully created select styles for every season. Kuma's African Market is features different African and Caribbean clothes, home decor, and foods. Pets Want is a premium pet food, all natural treats, chews, and supplements for your friends, your furry friends. Stitched by Stephanie's is handmade crocheted creations. And then Tabletop Game Shop is for gamers, offering board games, card games, miniatures, and accessories for all levels of play. So we're really excited. We had our first meeting with them over at the shops last week. It's going to be a great group, and we're really excited to welcome them in on May 9th. So that's all I have for this week. Do you have any questions?
Any questions of our executive director? I just want to share, I have already received requests from 2 mayors in the area that want to come to Batavia on a Saturday morning and tour the downtown. And I don't have dates yet, but they're coming. One's coming from out of the south suburbs, which is down where there's some real rough stuff going on. And she's got some new ideas about changing things around. And she was told that the Batavia Main Street and the farmer's market and all that good stuff there is something that you really need to come and see.
Yeah.
So I'll be calling you when I get dates of when these folks are coming, and I obviously will escort them around, but I'd like to have you there to talk to them for a few minutes too, so.
Yeah, that would be great. You know, we still get calls multiple times a month from people from around the country asking about the Boardwalk Shop specifically. I have a call coming up this week with a town in Texas, and somebody from Chicago is coming to visit the first week of April. So, I mean, I just think Batavia should be so proud of this program. A lot of other communities are really trying to imitate it, but I do think we just have something really unique that we should be proud that we're been able to sustain it as long as we have, and we're continually working to grow and keep that program fresh, as well as the other things that we're doing. Yeah.
Is there any way to potentially, have you guys thought about capitalizing on that in the future, putting on a workshop for others, or?
We think about it, but time, like we'd rather spend that time. Like we're going to national conference in next month. One of our goals at that conference is to meet with other people who have sustained incubator spaces, just to see what they're doing to keep their program going. We understand that it's, so no, we haven't, but we do talk about it a lot. So, any other questions for me tonight?
Thank you for your report this month.
All right, thank you. And I always forget how to log out of this, so I'm sorry. All right, thank you.
Okay, moving to item number 10, or 11, excuse me, is the administrator's report, and I know she's got some good news.
I do have some good news. It was a couple of months ago that I shared with you that the local chapter of the APWA had given the city of Batavia an award for Project of the Year for transportation less than $5 million for the Wilson Street and Prairie Street intersection improvements. And because of that, we were then nominated to the Chicago Metro chapter, which is basically most of northern Illinois, and the project won that award too. And so having won that, this project is now nominated to go to the APWA National Awards, which will be happening this fall and just happen to be hosted here in the city of Chicago. So we're hoping that that might give us an edge, but it certainly is a project that the city should be very proud of, and not only from the aspect of funding a project like that, the staff who put the time into overseeing the project, the residents, and all of the patients that they had, and the vision that we were really going to get something spectacular at the end of the day, and living through all of the messy construction and whatnot. It just really is a testament to a lot of people working together to bring about some positive change in our community. And I think the project just turned out great. So thank you all for your support of the project, and kudos to all the staff who were involved in making this just a tremendous positive. And some other things that we have going on. We continue to work with a landscape architect to support the public restroom that is we're going to be putting on North River Street. We want to make that a really nice area for people to visit. And Historic Preservation Commission has been busy at their regular meeting on March 10th. They reviewed and approved a proposed restaurant facade change for a new business on 21 North River Street that would repurpose an office building into a restaurant and game concept. So adding more entertainment to that area. And in addition to Andrea being promoted to Public Works Director, Rahat Bari and Jeremy Barkai have stepped into their roles as Assistant Directors of Public Works this week as well. Rahat is overseeing the engineering and electric, and Jeremy will oversee water, wastewater, streets, and public properties and facilities. So we're very excited about those promotions from within our organization. Of individuals who have made significant contributions already in their career, but putting really, I think, a star team in the leadership roles of that organization. And I'm looking forward to see all that they will be able to accomplish together. And that's all I have, unless anybody has any questions for me.
Anybody has any questions?
Thank you.
Well, thank you. We have other business from the city council. Alderman Ure?
Just a reminder that, so I've only got 2 meetings left on the BATV. It was my role on the board there, so we do need another representative if somebody wants to step up and, let the mayor know, since he has to appoint you.
Thank you. Well, we're sorry to miss you, but thank you for all you've done. That is kind of a vital position, and it needs to have some coordination with the city council, because there's a number of Batavia residents that do watch this on TV and get a further understanding as to what we're all about and what we're doing down here and everything else. So anybody has anything they'd like to add on that one, we'd ask you to step forward and volunteer. So anybody else on the council? All right, other business, we have none, I guess. Moving to 13, the mayor's report, very quickly. I just want to say that as I've already mentioned in this meeting on some other subjects, we are under a lot of attention from a lot of different towns about stuff we're doing here. It's almost like we need to put together our own program and go on the road and deliver it. The farmers market is a real interest to a lot of different people, but I think as I've told several who have talked with me, I said, kind of the success of that is going to be bent on, can you get the farmers willing to come in on Saturday morning or whatever time you're doing this and bring the stuff that people want. There's a lot of people that come some great distance to Batavia just because they heard about this. I mentioned earlier I was invited down to Aurora University to have lunch with the new president. And when I was down there, the first thing, she just had moved in here from out of state and said, Mayor, I can't believe what a great farmer's market you got in Batavia. I go there every Saturday morning. So, it's that type of word of mouth that's kind of spreading around that people pick up on and want to know more and more about it. And as I mentioned earlier again, we've got some other mayors that want to come in here. And one of the mayors that wants to come is from one of the towns down in the south suburbs, not the famous one where the mayor just got beat, but a neighbor. And that mayor's telling me they're really looking to kind of remake themselves into a newer, better idea. Where can we find some stuff that we can do that we can easily put together and bring into our community? And so they're coming up one day and going to be here. I don't know a date yet, but I've talked several times with them now, and they're very interested in coming. I may ask some of you to join me when that day comes, that come over and talk with them about what are the secrets to Batavia. I've also had some conversations with the city up at the north end of Boone County called Compton. And it's about 5 miles from the Wisconsin border. But they're very interested in what we're doing down here in Batavia. And now I find out that one of the big members of the Saturday morning farmers market is from Compton. And this is one of the more successful markets he does, is the one in Batavia. So we've got some collaboration and coordination going on here. And the word is kind of spreading, and it's all good word. It's not, don't go into that town. It's a bad place to be, or, you're getting a bad deal, or that some terrible things happened, or there's been this scandal. And fortunately, we don't have any of that. But I think one of the true, really strong blessings we have in Batavia is that our fellow governments that we have in this town right now are all pretty good, in my opinion. And they're all trying hard to do their thing in their unique ways. And whether it's the Park District, the Library District, the School District, they're all great partners of ours. And I'll give Laura the credit. We started a meeting a couple of weeks ago that we are now bringing together the leader, or whoever that is, of the Park District, the Library District, and the school district. Is there anybody else there in the city? Just the four of us, and we meet and share ideas and say what's going on and whatever have you. And it's really been a very informative thing. And, it's got other governments thinking about how they can do stuff at the same time the city's doing to kind of draw attention to what they're doing and how we can get more and more people to come into downtown. I'm amazed at the number of people who have shown up here this year who used to live in Batavia, and they've come back for class reunions. And I've shared some of this with you before, but it's remarkable to me the number of people who come in here and say, my goodness gracious, I can't believe what you've done to this town. The city council has really turned this around, because, as one told me quite bluntly, that area down there by the river was a dump. And it had all these old abandoned 55-gallon drums and piles of trash and everything else along there. And that's all gone now, and we've got some new stuff going. And so this past week, building on that, I was asked to go out to Greenfields, which is not in Batavia, but it's out off of Kessinger Road, and I guess it's in Elburn. And they wanted me to come out and do a program for them. So I went out and did a program about Batavia's collaboration and coordination with landing the first man on the moon. And we've got a phenomenal story of connections. You go back to, Buzz Aldrin, who put the American flag on the moon. His mother went to Batavia High School, and his grandfather was minister of the Methodist Church at the top of the hill. And then we had a visit at one point in time in 1919 by Dwight D. Eisenhower, and he stood in the middle of Wilson and Batavia Avenue and directed traffic while a military convoy came into town, stopped in front of what today is our library, and the city had a horse drinking trough that was hooked onto the city water system, and he opened that up because they needed to replenish all these military vehicles. And supposedly Eisenhower stood in that intersection for about almost an hour directing all this military traffic through. And then 41 years later, John F. Kennedy came through on a campaign trip for his presidency in 1960, and his car stopped and he got on the back of it, and there's many people still alive in Batavia today that remember this. He stood on the back trunk of the car and gave a speech for 1 minute and 41 seconds. And if you go to where Eisenhower stood and where Kennedy stood in back, it's less than 50 feet apart. And if you go into U.S. history, who started the space program? It was Eisenhower. And who's the one that really kicked it into gear was Kennedy. And so we got that kind of interesting connection. So we've got some very interesting stories about the moon flight. And we're going to, that case in the back there, we're going to make into a display of some of that story of what really happened with that. Because one of the more unique things that happened is that the flexible fuel lines that were used in the rocket that landed on the moon were designed in the room we're sitting in. And it was Dunbar Capital, and this was their kind of laboratory. And the actual flexible fuel line, as they called it, was made out in the building that's now been torn down where the American flag monument is. So we've just got things overlaying on top of each other, and it's a very interesting story. I shared it with all the folks out at Greenfields, and they were overwhelmed with that you could have that much real strong American history in such a small town. And I said, well, it's nothing anybody did. It just happened, and it's all the good people that have lived here and worked here. And so we got a lot of stuff happen. Another thing that's going to happen, and I've been asked to contribute to this, Dan Issel, who was our famous basketball player, is now having a book written about him. And I've been contacted by the authors, and they want old pictures of Dan and memories of him. Well, I got some memories because he was a year ahead of me in school. But that's going to come out, and I'm sure that'll be something Batavia. It sounds like it's going to be a very positive book about him, but I mean, it's, again, something that'll be very nice to have about Batavia. So Batavia's got some nice things happening. So that being said, I guess I would entertain a motion for adjournment. Second. Motion and second. All those, we call that?
All in favor?
All those in favor.